On today's 11 by 14 inch canvas, I'll be painting deli paper, decoupaging, stenciling, and using modeling paste. If you're interested in my digital download files, you can click on the PayHip link below. My voice isn't back to normal yet, but I'm giving it a go anyway. I'm mixing a little orange into my bright red and then putting it all over my deli paper. You can use tissue paper instead. It will also work, but you do have to treat it a little bit more delicately. Once I get that on, I'm going to use some bright yellow and a plastic grocery bag. Dip it in and tap all over just to give it some nice variation and texture. Next, I'm giving my canvas a quick coat of black paint and then going all over with a paper towel just to get all the brush strokes out. Now I'm using a dauber and some Caribbean blue and my little shape stencil here. I'm going to just add another layer. My preferred dauber for stenciling is a makeup sponge and a clothespin with about a ½ inch sticking out the bottom. Now I'll use a kitchen scrubber to tap some orange all over. Now I'm going to use some of that non-stick stuff that you put underneath things to keep it from moving. I don't know what it's called, but I think it has a groovy pattern on it. Adding another coat of black to my canvas. With my canvas dry, I'm going to line up my stencils and I'm going to start putting on my stems, but I need all my stencils to make sure everything's going to line up where I want it. And then I'm mixing up I'm mixing up a little marsh green with some dark gray, and then I'm going to stencil my stems on. And then I'll use a liner brush to come in and make all my stencil connections. Now I line up my flowers and leaves on top of the stems and stencil on that same green for my background. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of my bright yellow into that same green. Then I'll line up my stencil, but then offset it just a little bit to the left. And then I'll come in and stencil on again, a second background. Then I'll line up my flowers and leaves on top of those stems and complete the background layer. Now I'm going to add some modeling paste to my palette and mix it all in with my different greens. I'm not really concerned with the color of green I'm coming out with here. I just don't want to put it on white. I'm going to paint over it anyway. Now I'm lining up my stencil with my latest stems there. The lighter green, the more yellow green. Now I'm just going to go in with my modeling paste and put a nice little light coat all over my stems. I'm not really worried about getting a perfect, I rarely am worried about getting something perfect, but I'm just putting on a nice layer here, trying to make sure it's kind of evenish. And then I'm going to come in with my plastic shopping bag and gently kiss all over to give it a nice little texture. Now I'm going to use my liner brush and a little bit more modeling paste to go in and fill in where my stencil cuts are. While my canvas is drying, I'm going to go and trace my flowers on the back of my painted papers. And I'm going to mark on my flowers so I know where all these little pieces are when I get them cut out. Mixing up some more modeling paste and green, and then I'm going to go in and apply my leaves. With my canvas dry, I'm going to line up my stencil again mix up a little bit of a yellowy green, and then I'll use my dauber to apply that yellowy green. I really like the way this is coming together, and now I'm going to decoupage on my deli paper flower pieces. I'm getting them all ready to go here, well, a couple of them at a time, and then I'll start Mod Podging them on with a little bit of watered down Mod Podge. I originally made this as a kit that I was selling on Etsy, so that's why you see me talking to the camera with my hands quite a bit. I've mixed up another little spot of orangey red, and I'm going to use my liner brush just to outline each of my flowers to finish them off nicely. I'm going to use an old paintbrush, a little water and some paint to add a little panache here at the end. Well, that wraps up another video. If you like this kind of art, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I hope you'll join me again next time.